The tea was too hot. I let the steam blur my glasses while she stirred hers with 2 fingers curled precisely over the handle. The floral china clinked in that delicate way she preferred, just loud enough to be heard, never loud enough to be noticed. I spoke to Ellen yesterday, she said, not looking at me. Her daughter's opening a design consultancy in Milan. Can you imagine? Milan. I reached for a biscotti, broke it in half. She said, you're still doing that digital thing? She blinked at me then, expectant. I nodded once. Still? Running the company, yes. Her lips twitched. You must get tired of it. All that screen time. I enjoy it. She stirred again. 1, 2, 3 times. I don't mean to sound critical, darling. It's just, well, not everyone's meant for executive life. That takes grit? I offered. She smiled. Structure. Silence stretched like wet linen between us, then she said it. Lightly. Effortlessly. Like tossing away a thread. It's a bit of a worthless pursuit, isn't it? I didn't move. My pulse didn't even lift. She took a sip of tea. I asked, worthless how? She dabbed her mouth. You spend all this energy on digital exhibits? Online archives? A tilt of her head. It's a nice hobby. I just wonder what it actually builds. For the world, I mean. I met her gaze then. Come. It builds access. Preservation. Education. Marianne chuckled softly. You've always had such lovely ideals. Ideals? That pay the bills, I said. She ignored that. Remember when you wanted to be a journalist? I always thought you had that edge, that curiosity. Something grounded. I remember you told me journalism was for women who didn't marry well. She waved a hand. That was just humor. You always took things too personally. I leaned back. You just called my life's work worthless. Her eyes sharpened. I said it's a bit of a worthless pursuit. That's not personal. That's perspective. Your perspective, I said quietly. Not fact. She sighed. You're too sensitive, love. I'm only saying what others think. Not everyone has the luxury to play online all day. I work 12-hour days, manage 2 teams, and license cultural artifacts to global institutions. Exactly, she said, triumphant. You're working too hard for so little impact. A soft laugh escaped me. Not loud. But sharp. You haven't asked me once what I actually do. Not in years. She looked away, smoothed the napkin on her lap. You never wanted details, I continued. You wanted outcomes. Titles. Things you could name to your friends. Don't be dramatic, she said. You're 38. It's not as if I can carry you anymore. You never carried me, I said. You evaluated me. Her jaw twitched. What's that supposed to mean? It means your love had metrics. She stood abruptly. Her teacup clattered in its saucer. I didn't come here for a fight. You never come for a fight, I said. You come to issue reports. She stared down at me, then picked up her handbag. You're twisting things. As usual. No. I'm finally describing them. You invited me for tea. I thought. We could just talk. We are talking. You said I'm wasting my life. That qualifies. I didn't say wasting. You said worthless. A pause. She softened her tone. Darling. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. I just don't understand this world you live in. And yes, maybe I think you're capable of more. That's not what you said. It's what I meant. I stood too. Then maybe you should've said that. Her voice dropped. You don't have to be cruel. I shook my head. Cruel would have been calling my daughter's work worthless. She faltered then. Just a flicker. I picked up her coat from the rack and handed it to her. The car's out front. Are you sending me away now? She asked. No, I said. I'm letting you leave. She put on her coat slowly, carefully. Her movements. Deliberate, controlled. At the door, she turned. Your tone is calm, I finished. And you should know. You taught me how to use it. She searched my face for something, anger, maybe. Hurt. But I kept my expression clean. Goodbye, Mom. A pause. She nodded once and walked out. When the door clicked shut, I sat down again and poured myself a fresh cup of tea. This time, I drank it. Claire's voice was thinner than I remembered. Over the phone, it had always been rich, laughter just beneath the words. Now it came like static. You said tea at 3. It's 3:30. I'm inside, I said. Front room. No. Shoes. She entered a beat later. Hesitant, like she expected ghosts. I forgot how pale your floors are, she said, setting her bag down. It's like walking on moonlight. You used to say that when we were kids. She smiled weakly. Still feels true. I handed her a cup. She didn't sit. Claire. I wasn't sure if I should come, she said, but you did. She finally took the chair across from me. Legs crossed. Back straight. How's work? I asked. She hesitated. Growing. Slow funding cycle, but I'm pushing through. You always push. You say it like it's a flaw. I stirred my tea. It wasn't, once. She set her cup down. You're still angry. I'm not angry, I said. I'm remembering. A long silence. I didn't mean to betray you, she said softly, yet you did. Her fingers trembled around the porcelain. I was trying to make a connection. I thought, maybe she'd invest. You thought aligning with my mother behind my back would help your pitch? She reached out first. She always does. She said she wanted to understand your work better. She said you'd shut her out. I leaned forward. She said that to you? She made it sound like she regretted how things were. I laughed, short and dry. She's very good at regret performance. I know that now, she said. You didn't know it then? Claire looked at her tea like it might answer. I was tired of watching you get dismissed. I thought if I framed your work the right way, she'd see it. I thought I could help. By reinterpreting me without me. Her eyes lifted. I didn't think you'd see it that way. Because you were too busy rewriting the message. Just like her. She flinched. That's not fair. She rewrote my college essays. You knew that. You were there. I remember, she said. I also remember you let her. I was 16. You were brilliant. She was scared of it. She was scared of being embarrassed by it, I said. And you, I thought. I was helping, she repeated. You sent her my roadmap, Claire. Proprietary IP. She said she'd never share it. And you believed her? Claire shook her head. I wanted her to see what I saw. I thought if I framed it like a business, she'd respect it. So you translated me, I said. She looked up. I missed you. I didn't know how far apart we'd gotten. I sat back. The light through the window caught her profile, softer. Then I remembered, she told her friends I was still finding myself, I said. Last month. Claire blinked. She said that? At Ellen's birthday brunch. I wasn't invited, but it got back to me. Claire's face tightened. I'm sorry. You were the one person who knew how much that phrase used to gut me. I forgot, she said. I shouldn't have. I don't want an apology. Then what? Context. She frowned. You want me to explain why I hurt you? No, I said. I want to understand when it stopped mattering to you. It never stopped mattering. It had to. She took a breath. I was exhausted. Trying to hold space for both of you. I thought maybe if I could bridge the gap. There is no bridge, I said. She's your mother. She's a mirror that only reflects herself. Claire's eyes shone. I miss how we used to talk. We used to tell the truth. We still can. I looked at her. Then tell me this, if she'd offered you money to come work for her instead of me, would you have taken it? She stared at me. Too long, I don't know. I nodded. That's my answer. Claire stood. You really think I'm like her? No, I said. But you were willing to speak her language. She stepped back. I wanted to help. You wanted to be heard. And she offered you that. Claire turned toward the door. Her voice was low. I didn't come to lose you. You came too late, I said. The echoes got here first. The office was silent except for the hum of the server room. Derek leaned against the glass wall, sleeves rolled, phone in one hand, espresso in the other. You slept 3 hours, I said. That's a luxury. He raised a brow. Japan. Signed. That's not luxury. That's history. History they'll stream in 3 languages and walk through in virtual galleries. He grinned. You should tell your mom. Big moment. I looked at him. She doesn't ask. She knows you're running an empire. She thinks I'm managing a blog. He tilted his head. You're joking. No, he crossed the room. Saturday. When's the last time she asked anything? About me or about numbers? Either. Never. He paused. Not even when we hit 7 figures? Especially not then. He sipped. I don't get it. She's not curious. Everyone's curious. Especially parents. Not when the answer threatens their story. He set his cup down. Explain. She used to tell people I was a dreamer. Someone who needed structure. You built a platform from scratch. Exactly. Which means she was wrong. And she'd rather ignore your success than admit that? It's not conscious. It's selective blindness. He looked at me for a long time. That's brutal. It's quiet. She ever tried to come to the office? She's never asked where it is. He exhaled. She's missing it. All of it. She's not missing it, I said. She's refusing it. He stood, paced. So what do you want from her? Nothing. You sure? Yes. He turned. Because you look like you want something. I wanted acknowledgement. Years ago. I don't anymore. She ever meet the team? She met Claire. He froze. Right. She liked Claire. Said she was sharp. Claire is sharp. So was the knife in my back. He walked to the whiteboard, picked up a marker, didn't write. I don't talk about you at home, he said. I know. She thinks we're just colleagues. We are. You know what I mean. I know you're married. I'm also proud of you. That's not a solution. I'm not offering one. I'm saying it. I looked down at my screen. Tokyo wants a product roadmap by Monday. I'll take the first draft. You're too close. That's why it'll be good. That's why it'll be emotional. I glanced up. You think I'm compromised? I think you're tired. And I think you're still hearing her in your head. No, he didn't answer. I'm not. I repeated. I believe you, he said. I just don't believe her silence doesn't cost you. I didn't reply. He stepped closer. You built something extraordinary. I know. You scaled it alone. Not alone. He smiled. Fine. With me. And a team in 2 continents. Still. You did what most people dream of. And she hasn't asked a single question? Not one. He sat again. If she did, what would you say? I'd show her the architecture. The interface. The launch metrics. He leaned in. And I'd ask her what she thinks. And I'd watch her hesitate. He nodded. Because admitting you were right rewrites her. I stood, crossed to the window. The city stretched wide and uncaring. I don't need her approval. I said, but you deserved her interest. Silence. You think I should cut her out? No. I think you already did. I turned. You think I'm cruel? I think you're precise. I smiled. That's the nicest insult I've heard today. He picked up his coffee. We still on for the investor dinner? Yes. Where's something terrifying? I always do. He walked out, and the silence felt warmer than before. The subject line was blank. That was the first clue. Claire's emails were always titled like corporate memos. Follow-up, strategic deck. Investor language options. But this one just sat there, silent, bare. I clicked it and saw the thread. Claire's name. My mother's. 6 months of replies. Her tone can be abrasive, but she listens when it counts. You're indulging her too much. She's more competent than you think. I doubt that. She's still playing at being a founder. I believe in the product. You believe in the funding. I stopped reading. An hour later, Claire texted, ignore that. Wrong thread. Meant for Marianne. I didn't reply. She showed up the next morning, opened the door, she called through it. Please. I let her in. She wore the same gray coat from college, the one with the high collar she used to bury her face in when she felt ashamed. I messed up, she said. I didn't answer. It was sloppy. It was, God, it was stupid. You forwarded 6 months of private correspondence. I wasn't hiding it. You were. She took a breath. I wasn't trying to. It started before I realized how far it had gone. How far did it go? She emailed me after the gala last year. Said she was curious. Asked if you were still serious about the museum partnership. And you thought she deserved context? I thought if I could explain it better, maybe she'd come around. I folded my arms. Come around to what? Respecting me? Investing in you? Her shoulders stiffened. Both. So you fed her updates about my business like bait. She asked questions, because she doesn't ask me. That's why I answered. I laughed once. You thought that was loyalty? I thought if I could frame it the right way, she'd stop being so cold. She's not cold, Claire. She's calculated. She was my only warm lead at the time. I needed funding. I stepped closer. Then say it plain. You used me. I leveraged access. You betrayed access. Her eyes were wet. I didn't tell her anything sensitive. You told her I was still playing. That was her language, not mine. You didn't correct it. She blinked hard. I should've. You didn't defend me. You confirmed her doubt. Claire's voice cracked. I didn't mean to. But you did. Silence. She offered me a soft commitment, Claire said. 50,000. I declined. When? 2 weeks ago. Because you got caught? No, a pause. Because I realized it would always come with a price. Isterdahir. And I was the price. I didn't see it until the thread got long enough to choke me. I didn't speak. She said you'd never make it scalable. I told her you already had. She said, then why haven't I heard about it? And I couldn't answer. I didn't say the obvious. That she doesn't ask. That she doesn't want to know. She looked down. I wanted her respect. For me. For you. I didn't realize how warped that was until I read it all in one string. Words have shape when they stack. Claire nodded. I'm not asking you to forgive me. Good. I just wanted you to know it wasn't malice. No. I said. It was ambition. And fear. I tilted my head. Of failing? Of being invisible. I held her gaze. Now you're not. You're exposed. Her lip trembled. I still believe in what you're building. You believed in her money more. Not anymore. Why not? Because she reminded me who she is. And who you are. And who am I? The one person who ever let me take up space. Without performing. I swallowed that. She stepped back. I'm sorry. Not for the mistake. For forgetting how much you trusted me. That trust is gone. I know. Claire. She paused at the door. If she ever contacts you again, I'll block her. I nodded. And you won't send me anything? No. Never again. Good. She left without another word. I archived the thread and deleted the folder. Then I closed my laptop and sat still, letting the silence crawl up the walls. Martin adjusted his glasses, fingers poised over his keyboard. You're sure this is what you want? Yes. She's never worked here. She doesn't need to. He studied me. Strategic aesthetic consultant? It's vague. Enough to sound real. And the alias? W. Maris. Not very subtle. She'll never check. She doesn't open statements. He tapped a few keys. Which entity? Lorem Holdings. The R&D umbrella? Still active. Still clean. He nodded. I'll loop the payments through our subcontractor line. Quarterly. Discrete. Monthly. He raised a brow. She used to give me allowance like clockwork. I want the symmetry. He nodded again. Any 1099s? No. I'll file it under advisory disbursement. No tax trace. Martin sat back. This isn't petty. I know. This is meticulous. That's why I came to you. His lips twitched. We'll add her to the ledger as W. Maris, strategic consultant. Account transfers starting 1st of next month. Make it a clean round figure. 5,000? 6. He paused. That's generous. It's precise. Martin folded his hands. She'll think it's inheritance. She'll think it's providence. That's fine. This has a purpose? It's an experiment. In what? Value. Silence. Martin tapped a few keys. Should I notify legal? No. This isn't a dispute. It's not charity either. No, I said. It's a lesson. Delivered in silence. He leaned forward. You want her to know eventually? She will. When? When the irony outweighs the shame. Martin exhaled. You're playing a long game. She taught me how. Most people scream. When they're hurt. I build structures. He gave me a long look. You're not doing this out of spite. No, you're doing it out of clarity. Yes. He clicked one last key. It's done. I stood. Thank you. No questions asked, he said. I met his eyes. That's why I pay you. Outside, the air smelled of concrete and distant rain. I walked 3 blocks before I felt my jaw unclench. That night, I logged into the company dashboard and watched the alias go live. W. Maris, active consultant, $6000/month. No profile. No photo. No resume, just presence, like she'd always preferred. The ballroom was light-struck and silent, the kind of quiet you only get in expensive places, where everything muffles itself out of respect for money. I spotted her the moment I stepped onto the stage. She was near the back, next to a bronze sculpture of a disassembled clock, wearing the same silver dress she wore to my high school graduation. Back then, it had made her the center of every photograph. Tonight, she was a blur behind crystal. I didn't flinch. I began. Stories don't survive by accident. They endure because someone chose to keep them. Our platform exists to make that choice easier. The lights made it hard to see faces, but I felt the room holding its breath. The Japanese licensing team sat front row. 2 rows behind, Derek. And beyond them, Marianne. Chin high, hands clasped, face unreadable. I kept speaking. We don't create culture. We preserve access to it. We don't own stories. We guard the doors that lead to them. Applause came like velvet, full, soft. Without resistance. Afterward, I stepped off stage and straight into Isabella's orbit. Brilliant, she said, pulling me into a side hug. Absolutely surgical. Thank you. The Japan team was grinning the whole time. That closing line? Gorgeous. They understand legacy. They understand power. You wear it well. I smiled. I had a good tailor. Isabella turned. As a waiter passed. Champagne? No, thank you. I'm stealing you for 5 minutes, she said. The press wants a quick photo set. Of course. She glanced past me. Is that your mother? I didn't turn. Yes. She looks proud. I did turn then. Marianne's eyes flicked away the second we met. She looks well lit, I said. Isabella laughed. You're dangerous. I like it. She drifted off with a wink. I waited. 1 minute. 2. Then I walked toward her. You got the invitation. I said. I wasn't sure if it was real, she replied, sipping from a glass of untouched wine. W. Maris. Strategic aesthetic consultant. Her gaze sharpened. You invited me as an employee. I did. She tilted her head. That's either bold or insulting. Both. I assumed the name was a mistake. It wasn't. Marianne glanced around. It was a lovely keynote. You listened? I was here. That's not the same. She paused. You speak well. With conviction. It's easy when I believe in what I'm saying. She looked at the sculpture beside her. You always did love metaphors. And you always preferred measurable outcomes. She didn't answer. You've been on the payroll 6 months. Marianne blinked. Excuse me? I routed the funds through a shell. You've been paid monthly. For what? For being a reminder. She narrowed her eyes. Of what? What dismissal feels like. Her voice dropped. You think this is justice? No. It's math. Equal and opposite reaction. You're angry. No, I said. I'm exact. She swallowed. You think this proves something? It proves you benefited from the very work you once called worthless. You're twisting this. No. I'm documenting it. The way archivists do. She stepped back. You've become cold. No, I said. I've become complete. Her face flickered. Confusion, disbelief, calculation. You invited me here to humiliate me. I invited you here to observe. Observe what? What real power looks like. Quiet, earned, and unthanked. Marianne straightened her posture. You always wanted to win. No, I said. I wanted to be seen. This is what that looks like now. She held my gaze, but the surface cracked. Just a little. You can stop the payments, she said. I will. After tonight. She looked away. You planned this. Every frame. Marianne set her glass down. You think this makes you better than me? No, I said. It makes me free from you. She left without another word. Isabella returned a moment later. Everything all right? Perfect. She offered a fresh glass. You sure you don't want champagne? I took it this time that I didn't sip. Just held it, still. Cold. Still sharp. Still earned. The hotel room was quiet, clean, impersonal. She stood near the window, still in the silver dress, heels off, holding a glass of water like it might explain something. You didn't have to follow me up, she said. I did. I'm tired. I won't take long. She turned. Isabella's nice. She is. She seems to admire you. She does. She set the glass down. What is this really about? I placed the folder on the table between us. What is that? Your records. What records? Open it. She did. Scan the first page. Fros, vous, Maris. Your alias. What? You've been on my payroll for 7 months. Her eyes flicked up. Don't be ridiculous. I pointed. There's the shell company. The transfers. Clean ledger. Legitimate disbursements. For what? Strategic aesthetic consulting. She stared at me. That's not real. The payments were. You paid me? I funded your monthly bank deposits. Quietly. Consistently. She stepped back. Why? Because you said my work was worthless. She shook her head. That's not, it is. She opened another page. Her name. Her bank. Transfer dates. You can't be serious. I am. Her voice dropped. This is twisted. No. This is structured. Her hand trembled. You used me to prove a point? I used my own system to illustrate one. You think this is justice? I think it's instruction. She slammed the folder shut. You're sick. No. I'm detailed. You've always been so cold when you want to be. And you've always underestimated how far I can think. She looked at me like I'd turned to glass. What do you want from me? Nothing. You dragged me here. Humiliated me. No, I said. I invited you. And I paid you. Generously. Her mouth twisted. You think this makes us even? We were never on the same board. She gripped the folder. You think this matters? It already has. Her face went pale. You wanted me to feel small. No, I said. I wanted you to feel held. By something you said didn't matter. She sat down. Slowly. This is cruelty. This is clarity. She looked up at me. You're not who I thought. I never was. Silence stretched. I should return the money. You won't. Don't tell me what I'll do. You'll rationalize it. You'll say it was symbolic. She pressed her palms to her knees. This is beneath you. No, I said. This is exactly where I've been. Beneath your gaze. Beneath your interest. Beneath your regard. Until I put you on the books. Her eyes glistened. I stepped closer. I wanted you to know what worthless feels like, I said quietly. When it pays your mortgage. Then I left her sitting there, dress shimmering like foil, truth in her hands and nothing else. She didn't slam the door. She didn't ask for an explanation. She didn't even take the folder, she just left. I watched the hallway empty behind her, the soft click of the elevator swallowing her like a quiet verdict. The room smelled like carpet cleaner and wilted orchids. I sat on the edge of the bed for a while, waiting for the ache to rise. It didn't. At 2:14 a.m., I rolled over and stared at the ceiling, waiting for guilt to knock. It never did. My phone buzzed late the next afternoon. Claire, that was harsh. I didn't answer. 3 days passed. Then 5. Marianne vanished from every shared thread. I checked, once. No more likes on my public posts. Her photo quietly disappeared from Ellen's birthday album. Group chats went silent. Mutuals retreated like trained staff after an incident. There was no confrontation. Just vacuum. At the office, Derek leaned against my doorframe. She gone? Yes. He walked in. That looked like a clean exit. Clean enough. You hear from her? No, you okay? Yes. He studied me. You don't look relieved. I'm not upset. That's not the same. I looked up from my laptop. I don't need it to be. He nodded slowly. Claire reached out to me. What for? Wanted to know if you're speaking to her. I'm not. He hesitated. She said it felt calculated. It was. She said she didn't expect you to go that far. She didn't know where the line was. He rubbed his jaw. You sure you're not carrying any of this? I'm sure. You're quiet. I prefer it now. Derek sat down. You know, most people fall apart after that kind of confrontation. I'm not most people. No, he said. You're not. I closed the laptop. Did you tell her anything? No. I said if she had something to say, she should say it to you. She won't. She might. I don't care. He nodded again. That's new. Yes. We sat in silence for a minute, then he asked, so what now? Now, I said, we move forward. No echoes? Only if I choose to hear them. Derek stood. You know where to find me. I always do. He left. The office felt sharper without sound. So did I. The quote sat at the bottom of the new campaign page in soft serif type, italicized, framed by negative space. Let them call it worthless. You know what it's worth. No attribution. No drama. Derek leaned against my desk, arms folded. You really want to use that line? Yes. You're sure? It's clean. It's honest. He studied the screen. You think people will know who it's about? No, but some will guess. They don't need to. He nodded slowly. It's strong. It's mine. People might think it's about a board rejection. Or a failed investor call. Let them. He looked at me. You're playing it close. It's not revenge. It's resonance. Pause. I like it, he said. It lands. It should. It's a summary. He smiled. You always did prefer precision. Now it pays. He pushed off the desk. Japan's in. They signed. Today? 10 minutes ago. And Amsterdam wants to expand the education tier. I sat back. Forward the contracts. They're already in legal. Good. He gestured toward the quote again. You want a photo beneath it? No image. No logo. Minimalist. Intentional. He grinned. I'll brief marketing. As he left, the notification sound chimed. My inbox lit up. Subject, I needed this. Subject, just, thank you. Subject, worthless? Not anymore. I opened 1. My mother told me I was wasting my degree. Yesterday I onboarded my third client. Thank you for reminding me I'm not the only one who had to translate silence into currency. Another, this line hit hard. I didn't know how much I needed to hear it until I saw it. And another. I cried. Then I clicked join. I closed the emails and walked into the studio. The projection wall ran the quote across a white background in 7 languages. Marianne's words, exported. Derek's voice came from the door. Still proud? No, what? Then? Purposeful. He nodded once. I turned off the projector. It had said enough. The envelope was cream-colored and thick, the kind she favored for holiday cards and obligatory thank yous. No return address, but the handwriting stopped me. I opened it at the kitchen counter. No fanfare. 1 sentence. Written in navy ink. I didn't know I could hurt you. No signature, just the shape of her script, unmistakable in its precision. I stared at it, letting the words rest. No apology. No explanation, just a single line, placed like a pin between ribs. I turned the card over. Blank. I didn't call her. Didn't text. I slipped the card back into the envelope and walked it to the drawer near the sink, the one filled with pens that didn't work and batteries that might still have charged. It fit there. Exactly. That night, Derek leaned against the kitchen door. You're quiet. I'm fine. He nodded. Mail came? Yes. Anything interesting? I glanced at the drawer. A sentence. From her? Yes. Do you want to talk about it? No. He poured a glass of water, waited. Was it an apology? No. A confession? Not quite. He raised the glass. Do you feel different? I feel finished. He studied me. That's new. Yes. He didn't press further. When he left the room, I opened the drawer once more, held the card. Just long enough to remember what it felt like to want her to understand me, then I let that one go. Quietly. Completely. Closure doesn't announce itself. It settles. The mornings were the quietest. No notifications. No headlines. Just light, shifting slowly across the hardwood. I stopped sleeping with my phone beside me. It stayed on the desk, turned face down. Derek asked once, "You off the grid now?" No, I said. Just not waiting on it anymore. My calendar filled itself, launch meetings, client strategy calls, development sprints. But the space around them widened. I left time between things. Started using it. The first sentence came on a Sunday. Scribbled in the margin of a newsprint notebook. I was not made for their language, so I wrote my OWN.BY Tuesday. I had 10 pages. Not business. Not brand. Just voice. Derek noticed. You writing again? I never really stopped. I just stopped being heard. He leaned on my office door. What is it? Fragments. Of myself. He smiled. You sound lighter. I feel lighter. Anything I can read? Not yet. That means not ever. Probably. He held up his hands. Fair. The house had gotten quieter. Not just sound, but interference. I turned off alerts. Removed 3 apps. Let texts go unanswered. When Claire emailed, I archived it unread. At night, I'd walk the hallway barefoot, the soft hush of skin on wood replacing the old rhythm of pacing thoughts. There was a freedom in not being expected, there was weightlessness in being full without needing permission. The girl's name was Anya. 22. Too poised for her age, too afraid to show it. She tapped her pen against her notebook like she was waiting for permission. Do you want to ask something? I said. She hesitated. How do you know when? It's real? When what's real? The idea. The work. How do you know it's not just ego? I smiled. That's not your question. She blinked. What do you mean? You're asking how to trust yourself. Anya looked down. Maybe. I used to ask that too, I said. Wrong person. Wrong time. What did they say? They told me to have a backup plan. She laughed softly. That sounds familiar. I don't believe in backup plans, I said. She looked up, startled. You don't? No. I believe in designing the thing so well it doesn't need one. She sat back, like I'd taken something off her shoulders. That's not what we're taught, she said. I know. When did you stop needing approval? When I realized it never changed the outcome. She nodded slowly. You don't ask about safety nets. No, why not? Because I remember what it feels like to be asked if you're ready. To fail before anyone's bothered to believe you can succeed. Anya's voice dropped. It makes you smaller. Yes. And I don't build small. She didn't speak for a moment. Then, can I show you something? Of course. She opened her tablet, slid it across the table. A wireframe, messy, brilliant, full of ambition. Notes in the margins, circles around risks. Every page pulsing. With want. I've never shown this to anyone, she said. You just did. Does it make sense? I scrolled through. Yes. Do you think it's good? I think it's necessary. Her eyes filled, but she blinked it back. Don't shrink, I said. You've already done the hard part. What part? Choosing. To build what no one asked you to. She reached for her tablet, holding it differently now. Thank you. I nodded. Another girl waited outside the door. And another after her. In the evenings, I stayed behind, the glass wall casting reflections. Across the quiet conference room. I would reread their proposals, scratch notes in the margins, mark what they already knew but hadn't said aloud. Derek stopped by once. You turning this place into a school? No, I said. An archive. Of what? Women they haven't seen yet. He smiled. You always did like blueprints. I do, I said. But now I help draw theirs. That was the revenge. Not her collapse. Not her apology. Legacy. Built clean. And handed forward.